In this video, I'm going to apply some color correction to the foreground subject that has been keyed out, and add in a background video layer. I have the transparency view switched to black for this part so that I can see my results a bit better. You can toggle between a black background and the transparent checkerboard pattern background by clicking on the transparency icon in the preview window. Go to the Effects and Presets menu. If you don't see it, go to the Window menu and click on Effects and Presets, and it will appear. In the Effects and Presets menu, type Curves in the search bar. We will use the Color Correction Curves, so select and drag it into the preview screen to attach it to the layer. This graph represents the lightest and darkest parts of the image in the spectrum of screen colors, red, green, and blue. All screen colors are a combination of those colors, so by adjusting the graph in the RGB mode, I'm affecting the brightness and contrast of the whole image. Here's how to read this graph. The bottom left corner are the darkest values in the image, and the top right corner are the lightest values. If I move the points at the bottom and the top towards the middle, then more of the image is either darker by moving the bottom or lighter if I move the top. Because I want to increase the contrast of the image, I'm going to create new points along this graph and curve my values. Just click in the graph along the line to create a point. The benefit of a curve is that it gradually shifts the ranges so that you get more of a natural result. By raising the line above or below the middle, I can brighten or darken that range. First, the bright areas. I'm going to bring them up, and the dark areas, bring them down. You can also adjust particular colors by selecting from the RGB menu. I am going to adjust my skin color a bit by adjusting the blue values. By bringing up the blue in the lighter areas, it will cool the light off on my face, and by bringing it down in the dark areas, it'll affect my sweater. Now to add a background. Go to File, Import, File. I'm going to select my video file from the Asset folder. Remember, that is important. Anything you use in your project needs to come from your project folder. Click Open. The clip now appears in the project window. It's a huge clip, over an hour long, and I just want 30 seconds of it. To view it in the window and select only a portion to bring into your composition, double-click on the clip in the project window. This will open a footage window where you can preview your clips and select a portion. You can always toggle back and forth between the composition and the footage window by using the tabs at the top. I'm going to find a start point by moving the blue cursor across the footage meter. When I find the right point, select the bracket in icon at the bottom of the footage window. Find the end point by moving the cursor. Select the bracket out icon. Now back in the project window, when I drag this clip into the composition, it will only be that portion. You can adjust the in and out points of a layer in the timeline. In the performance footage, I don't need the start and end bits, so I'm going to adjust the beginning and end of that layer. For more accuracy, I'm going to use the audio waveform to find my in and out points. Make sure the selection tool is highlighted, then untwirl the layer by clicking on the triangle next to the layer. You can untwirl layers or parameters within layers by clicking on this triangle with the selection tool. Untwirl the layer, the audio, and then the audio waveform to view it. Waveform is a visual representation of the audio. The parts I want to cut are smaller in the waveform, the background chatter before I start and when I finish. You can play the clip by clicking on the space bar. If you want to adjust the in and out points of the clip in the composition, use the selection tool, then hover over the end of a clip until you can see the opposing arrows. Then click and drag the end of the clip out or in. You can move a layer in the timeline by hovering over the middle of it and then clicking and dragging left or right. To adjust the pillar boxing on my background footage layer, untwirl the layer, untwirl the transform menu, and increase the scale. I'm going to go to 130%. That should be fine, but you don't want to go too far with this because it will blow out the pixels in the image. But 130 should be fine. At the bottom of the timeline, there is a mountain icon where you can zoom in and out of the view in the timeline. This is all the way zoomed in, all the way zoomed out. Adjust the work area to the end of the performance clip. Adjust the layers so that they end at the same time.